We back, y'all. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. It's podcast time. We got my good brothers here, and as you can see, we got a special guest in the building, man. This guy here, not only is he my friend, not only is he my son and my barber at times, but he's a great guy. He's a staple in the community. To me, he's an icon. Uh, he's mentored me on many occasions. And without further ado, I want to introduce my guy, Skinny. Well, do you mind if I get in the name?
No, you good. Hey, brother. Hey,
Ernest.
Yeah.
Skinny.
Hey, I love Ernest. That's the mom.
Slink. McCray.
Mm-mm-mm.
Give him something.
Welcome.
Give him something.
Oh, I did the wrong.
That's all.
I hate to laugh. My bad.
It is funny, all them names again.
But and also before we start, they also have a podcast. That's why we want to get them on our podcast. Show the love. They had us on his podcast on Monday, which is All Over the Place podcast. And when I say all over the place, they all over the place.
But you will be entertained.
Highly entertained.
You're not going to be bored watching their show.
Appreciate that.
Highly
I told you I
entertained.
like y'all set up.
That I promise.
I like the way everything is going. And I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be a guest on the show. You know, I think it's, especially us, all of us who are starting like from the ground up, I think it's good that we all unite and show that we unified on our fronts. You know what I mean? That we don't have no animosity towards each other because we really all need each other to make it to where we're trying to go. At some point in time, you know what I'm saying? We're stronger together than apart. That's just my personal opinion. You know, some people, I'm doing this, but you can, but I just think it's easier this way.
Yeah.
For everybody kind of like get familiar because we all in the same industry now. So we should have some type of personal rapport with one another. You know what I mean? We doing it. We in the industry. I should be able to say, Bob, look, I need a mic. Oh, I got a cord over. I'll bring it down the barbershop or anything because we're on the same mission. You know what I mean? So,
Right. So, brother Skinny, man, tell us a little bit about the podcast and how y'all got started. You got a co-host.
Yeah, my co-host. Well, a Latefoot. That's my co-host.
Latefoot.
Yeah, he always late. But you know what? He's 3rd and 10. You know what I mean?
3rd and 10.
Yeah, he'll get you 12. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's Latefoot, man. He's a very, as I say, technical guy. So he's a lot into the analytics and the technical aspect, like the engineering aspect of the show. And Dion was a guy that, Dion actually have opposite personalities, and that's one of the reasons why I picked him because I didn't want it to be all one way. I want to kind of like people to see more than once. It's two sides to every coin. You know what I mean? So I always thought it'd be best for people to see something outside of me. You know what I mean? So I think we want divert. Look at y'all podcast.
Yeah.
Look at this is diversity. This is what it's all about because this is what the world looks like.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
So we gotta.
Good evening, Marika.
You gotta be able to relate.
Yeah. We got some of our, I can call them our VIPs. You know what I mean? Marika, she's tapped in with us. Miss Fisher is with us tonight.
Okay.
Miss Fisher, okay.
Miss Fisher with us tonight. Who else we
Welcome.
have? Our sister Michelle.
Sis, what it do?
We appreciate you all.
Y'all been generating a lot of buzz, man. Start loosening some mics up around here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all been doing real good.
But no, the
speakers.
secret weapon is I've got Gary.
Yeah.
I've got Gary right here.
Yeah, people hit me up and say, man, that Gary, man, he's a good look, man. He's a guy. I said, what's wrong with me, though? They said, you cool, bro. But, Gary got this special sauce for y'all, man. I said, okay, cool. That's what's up.
Hey, and look, before we start, we got to bring our soon-to-be, hope-to-be, original, stationary podcast member, Robin Jones. She was on last week.
Yeah, it was last week.
She was on last week.
Yeah.
And they loved her so much that we got hate mail. Mm-hmm. Y'all better have her back on. She need to be a permanent. I know where you live. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So guess what? We had to bring her back. And she's in the crowd and she's going to join us in a few minutes. But before we bring her on, we want to kind of dive into a little bit more of Brother Skinny here, and of course we got a hot topic tonight that we're gonna talk about. And Brother Skinny, amongst this panel that we have right here, is the only one that is happily married, period. Let me just say that much. You know, the rest of us up here, you know, we either dating or, you know, single, you know, whatever it is. Who, me? No, I'm not married. No.
He on probation.
I'm on probation.
Okay.
Yeah.
He want.
Hey, Toy.
Once he get his-
But yeah, but when we get into the topic, man, you know, we really want him to weigh in on it. We definitely need that side, that perspective from it, because as single men, we have our way of seeing it. Yeah, we can look on the other side, but we haven't been there, you know. So it's good to get it from a great man that's been there, and I'm pretty sure he can talk some things about his relationship. That it might, we all want to be like we said the other day. We all want to say we're A+ in our relationship, but being reality, no. You know what I'm saying? You know, all of us got some bags and stuff like that. And I can honestly say, it's like my man said, I'm probably I give myself a.
Be careful, she listening.
I give myself a B-. I say I'm a B-. You know what I mean? I'm a B-. Now that's just speaking amongst being a partner. You know, being the spouse. You know what I mean? Thing like, I'm not saying the father, and because if you want to put the father and all that stuff in there, now I'm gonna have to just be conceited.
That goes into your grade. It got to go into your grade.
It got to go into your grade.
Yeah, it's got to go into your grade.
I gotta take the minus off. Then I gotta give myself at least a B.
You
know what I mean? But yeah, man. But Brother Skinny, real quick before we bring up our guest, when did you and Dion start your podcast?
Oh, okay. This is 2022. We started in the midst of the pandemic around October.
Took advantage of that.
2020. I started seeing that everybody was kind of like going into a shell mode, almost like a mental block where everybody was starting. We really couldn't grasp the fact that we couldn't go outside. Like you know, when you take somebody's freedom away, you kind of like you know, especially if somebody not used to it, running around, and kind of like had everybody tripping. You know what I mean? Then they talking about all these new provisions with the mask and the 6 feet and the washing your hands, stuff that we should have been doing anyway.
Right.
You know, we was trifling prior, post-COVID. What is it? Pre-COVID, we was all trifling. The world was trifling.
But I tell you somebody who wasn't. Them Chinese, them Koreans, we used to see them we think something wrong with them. They've been wearing their masks for years.
Yeah.
Am I lying though? They've been wearing their masks. You see, like what they got the flu, they got the cold.
Well, yeah, they were doing the bird flu and various breakouts,
Sums and all that, summer fears. But you know who else used to wear all that stuff back in the day? Howard Hughes used to wear that.
Yeah,
Howard Hughes, when they had the airplane, he used to wear gloves. He was germophobic too. He was like, you know, he was a big boy. He was money, so sometimes people with a little bit more money know a little bit more than us. You know, they get the info. You know, add that information. I don't know where they get it.
Hey, Ty. But listen, we want to bring Miss Robin up. Miss Robin, I want you to come on up. We're gonna switch seats. No, we're gonna switch seats. No, we about to bring the topic up soon. We bring Sister Robin up because we can't have a topic without Robin.
A female perspective.
We got to have a female perspective in here because I don't need no more DMs, inboxes and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Hate me. I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? So come on up, Miss Robin. Let's give Miss Robin a hand, y'all.
I gotta write this down. Put your hands together. Yes.
You have to toast my angel.
Hey,
how you doing, Miss
How
Robin?
you doing? Nice to meet you.
Glad to be here.
So officially, that's Brother Skinny, aka Slink. That's Robin Jones.
She looks familiar. She looks, man, people.
She got that star quality. That's what it is, you know. That's
I'm from the Avenue. Maybe you see me around here.
It's good though. It's good.
Yeah. So y'all listen. I gotta say this up front. A little disclaimer. This particular topic about repeating relationship patterns. That's a heavy topic, y'all. So listen. We only gonna go as deep as we can go. I don't want nobody being here squirming and And I don't want y'all to be quiet out there because y'all don't want to say nothing. But I mean, it came up. We was like, all right, let's tackle it a little bit. Let's,
came up in our prior episodes.
yeah.
It's like an underlying thread that just kept running through a lot of things we were talking about.
Yeah, true. I mean, so I'm gonna kick this thing off. Even if I gotta put myself in the hot seat, you know what I mean, I'm willing to do it, for the cause, right?
Mhm.
But one of the things I was looking at was when I started, I said, well, dang, do I have a pattern, right? Do I have a, is there something that I'm doing whenever I find somebody, and I tend to just fall into that way of doing it each and every time. And the first thing I realized was this. I think the reason why a lot of us do patterns is because we're not paying attention to ourselves, right? Like there's a certain level of awareness, consciousness, whatever you want to call it for the big word dudes, right?
Yeah.
That it seems like you have to have that to even be able to sit down and examine, like, whoa, hold on. This is my sixth breakup.
Yeah.
I loved all of them. So what's going on? Oh, let me stop. Take a look back. Oh, okay.
Because
So-
sounds like you're talking about perspective where it's sometimes hard to see the forest.
From the tree.
Staring at trees,
Yeah.
you're like-
Y'all know that
You're
saying,
looking close
you
to
can't see the
trees.
forest from the trees. That's saying like I will be able to see the forest, but all them trees in the way. That's how you
Yeah.
break down that saying right
You
there.
need to be
right?
able to zoom out sometimes.
Yeah.
In relationships, it's the same thing. You got to be able to look at it from different perspectives.
Exactly.
Pull yourself out of yourself.
So listen, I'm gonna ask Miss Robin Jones real quick. Where do you start when we tackling this topic right here? Where do you start?
I'm going through that right now,
Okay, respect.
and
Bring it.
I find that it's especially as a woman, and I'm a little older, and I find that I do the same thing in every relationship. I find that I think it's a plus, but I also think it's a minus for me because I find that I'm like a fixer. I like to fix things.
Okay,
I like
okay.
to problem solve, and I do that. I find that that's what I make my role in every relationship that I'm in. But every relationship doesn't need that.
Mm.
And I don't know how to get out of it. So like right now, when I have a person telling me like, hey, you don't have to do everything. I don't need you to do this. I get offended. I'm like,
Yeah, you like
You
hold
do
on.
need
This,
that.
yeah. This how I do.
but they're
right?
like, yeah, but you don't need that. So I have to like take a step back and see. But also that's just for myself. But I'm looking at, am I choosing the same type of people to
Here we
deal
go.
with?
That's-
Am I choosing people that need to be fixed?
That's
Projects.
Projects
Uh,
broken.
okay.
Am I doing that?
Okay.
Not all of them are the same. I think everybody has a different whatever. But I'm like, is there a common thread here amongst these people?
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
mean, yeah, that's heavy. And in respect for sharing that too,
Yeah.
because it takes
Help
a certain
me.
level of honesty to even and that's, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is out of all the topics we've done, this is the one where I had the most hesitation.
Why?
You know?
What was the hesitation about?
Because when you ask to really look at yourself and you don't necessarily like what you see,
Mhm.
it takes a lot of courage to stare that in the
Sure.
face, to
Yeah.
look the tiger in the face
Hold the mirror
with all the
close.
whiskers and the big teeth and be like, oh Lord, I do
Yeah.
that. Right. And as an unattractive as that's what I do. Right. So I was a little hesitant about this one. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it came up, so we had to, we wanted to address it, but like I was like,
It didn't have to be
whoa.
brought up tonight. If you don't
Ooh, so am I ready to put you on the spot now? No, I ain't gonna. I'm gonna wait. I'm warm you. I'm gonna let you warm up. So, brother Skinny, tell me, because I'm assuming before you got married, you had some dates and stuff like that, right?
Of course.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta
right.
get to the
Yeah, right. So, had you noticed any one thing in particular that may have been a pattern for you over the course of that period up until you found your wife?
Yeah, well, yeah, that was kind of like, somewhat to what she said. I was just getting in and out of relationships, getting out of relationship what I want, but when you start getting to the point where you're gonna be with somebody for quite some time, it's all about compromising. You know what I'm saying? And before you can really get to your problem, you have to come out of denial, because a lot of things that you see, you deny what you see. So you can't fix if you don't believe what you see. You know what I'm saying? You might know that you bad paying your bills, but you think you're all right because you got a few things, but you could be better. So you go on, keep doing that's that pattern, doing the same thing instead of addressing the issue. So at some point in time, the issue had to be addressed of looking at yourself. But self-examination is one of the hardest things, because we don't always see what we want to see. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
Sometimes we see the stuff. We used to do I used to do an exercise, and I tell people all the time, I say, write down 50 things wrong with you, right? Dude be a stand-up with the pen. It'd be 5 minutes. He ain't wrote down number 2 things. And I say, write down 10 things right with you. He'll be finished to 10 things before I can say 10.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because we can find more things about us that we like than we don't like. You know what I mean? So we're quick to gravitate to that.
Yeah. Because honestly, and I may have actually said this to Robin off camera before, but like, I realized that I never had any business being in any relationships, not any real relationships coming up, because I was clueless. I mean, I would just, first off, I would start off with the Peter Pan mentality. Like, oh yeah, we about to go to the moon. It's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be delicious and blissful. And, oh wow, let's go skip on the rainbow and just, and
It's natural.
it's cool and it sounds great, but I needed to be grounded, because reality kicks in at some point. You can't always have it like that. You know what I mean? People you got jobs and families and other stuff they're dealing with. She can't be the center of my everything. I can't expect her to be the center of my everything. You know what I mean? It doesn't work. But I would always start out like, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that. And then once that reality kick in, I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't know, something ain't right here, But I didn't know it was.
What was it like when you noticed something was wrong? When did it come up?
Yeah.
Like what like sparked the idea to you?
Oh,
Give me an example of, like, when
all of this
you
came
started saying like that
in self-examination after, because I've been single for a while now. But
okay.
How long is
all this has come. Say again.
How long is
a while? Since 2016. What's that? Oh,
yeah, that's a while.
That's a while.
So when people say I'm kind of confused about the single. People say when they're single, you be by yourself. You haven't been with a woman since 2016.
Are you asking me that?
Yeah. Now I was trying to get the clarity on what the definition. Some people say be single and then they celibate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they don't involve. Because some people know if they get physical with a person, then it gets messy. So I don't know what's your.
I don't know that part.
No, I'm just saying. Some people, women do it a lot of times. If a woman broke up with somebody, might pull back.
So for my viewers out there, y'all about to find out something about me.
Like I said, I'm just saying until you get yourself together.
Now, but you asked about yes, I have been celibate for that time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother show.
And that's since 2016.
That's a whole nother show.
And see, that's why I asked that, because you can't just see the reason
I
why I
can't
asked that.
even spell
People
it.
just can't anticipate that people gonna be with somebody. That's why I asked that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't I gotta look at you from the highest point. I'm gonna give you that, and I'll let you tell me rubbing out. But I know I couldn't do it.
No. I mean,
But- and I respect it.
Actually, here's what we about to do. And I was thinking about this. Even though that's our topic, repeating relationships, we're gonna take a page out of their book and do a little bit of all over the place.
Okay.
So now I can pivot a little bit. Okay.
You definitely can do what you got to do to get it going.
We got to. I'm
Hold on,
sorry.
here it is.
I was just the opposite. I wrote more wrong quickly, but I struggled with writing what was good in myself.
Okay.
Oh, you mean that list? Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. Respect.
right,
thank you for that.
right. Yeah,
Whoever
that's
you are out there, we appreciate
That's
you.
a great therapeutic. You can
Yeah.
really see us.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
Respect.
that's-
Yeah. So I my whole situation, if y'all really want to know, I mean, is I didn't set out like that. You know, I'm a man like the rest of us, and I have desires and women and all that. I like all that too, but for whatever reasons, how it turned out was once I got out of that relationship, I did a complete reset, right? And when I looked around, I realized that I still hadn't addressed the issues that I got into trouble with in my previous relationships. I really hadn't, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't feeling good about myself as a person, as a man, right? And like I never wanted to be one of them dudes who I'm dealing with somebody and I don't feel like I'm bringing what I can bring to the table, or I'm not I'm not gonna sit in a woman's presence and feel less than. I'm not gonna, I mean, either we're gonna do this and I'm gonna be a man, or I'm not gonna be in a relationship, right?
Teamwork.
Yeah, gotcha.
So all that to say, I ended up as I had been. It's the whole celibate movement or whatever. I'm surprised that I've done it this long. I ain't never really told all this many people, but
I think you just need a cheerleader.
That's why I said, Jay. That's why I said that, because
You know,
people
wingman,
always
hype
think
man.
that and then see that's part of how people stay broken too. You know what I'm saying? We jump from one relationship to the other because you don't give yourself
True.
time to heal. You know what I'm saying? Because technically, you're not married till you actually had sex. So every time you had sex with somebody, you understand what you're doing. Your spirit is going into that individual. You know what I mean? You don't think about it like that. Then person, well, I can't find a wife. Well, you done been with 5 people in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
So you got
okay.
your spirit all over the place. You know what I mean?
Sister Marika said, I did the same after my last serious relationship to work on me, the celibacy and all. It takes a lot of work on self to work on yourself. Yeah, no, respect.
It's
Yeah.
hard, man. I give somebody, man. I give you, man. It's hard, man.
I don't think I chose when I got out of my last relationship to be celibate. Like I was like, even the word, I'm like, what is that word? But I was just like by myself.
Yeah.
I just used that time to grieve, to figure out like, okay, who am I? Because I felt like I lost so much of myself in the last one. Like my habits had changed, just the way that I was. I didn't really feel like myself anymore. So I wanted to get back to that. So
Okay.
I don't think I made a conscious choice not to be with anybody. I just kind of, took a step back.
Yeah, and it's the same for
about a
me.
year
You
or
know what I
so,
mean?
yeah.
Like if
She's
you would have
smart.
told me,
She's smart. She left a peephole
yeah.
open. Ain't gonna jump out there. I don't
Just
blame.
in case,
Yeah,
look.
just in case. She turned in a case on that joke.
Yeah,
Just in
yeah.
case. She left a back door. You know what I'm saying? But and I respect that too, man, because it's a challenge. Sometimes you know.
But you're talking about emotional isolation to an extent, right? The word isolation
Yes.
now after the coronavirus means something a little different. But I
Mhm.
feel like you've chosen sort of like an aloneness, so you could. It's almost cathartic. Like
Yes.
it's sort of like starting anew,
Yep.
essentially. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I never, like I said, I never would have. You could have never told me, yeah, well, you gonna go a good little while there before you do something there, bro. No, I wouldn't. I wasn't like
Couldn't
that.
never told me that neither.
This was this was an organic kind of
Court
thing,
system
you
told
know
me
what
that.
I'm saying?
And it never told me it was gonna be organic like that. The court system tried another story to tell.
Look, hey, look, we all get there in different ways, bro. We all get there in different ways.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Like with the topic, because I really wanted to talk about this though, but like
great.
repeating
Okay.
relationship habits, like really, like what is that? Are we repeating these habits because we're picking the same type of person, or is it about what we're doing in the relationship?
So,
both.
if I
It's
may,
definitely
I agree.
both,
I
because
agree with
we're
him.
bringing something that goes all the way back to our ingrained, like fundamental roots, the way our brains are wired, really all the way to childhood.
I agree with
Honestly, well, it wasn't about like the first boyfriend you had who was a
dog.
dog. It wasn't about that really. It's before that. That's what I'm. None of us are trained in psychology, but this is what.
but I play one on
picked up,
TV.
right?
Right.
But I play one on TV.
So look, so I looked into something with this, right? And I found it interesting because their point, they were coming at it like this. Whoever your primary caretaker was. Could be a father, mother, or whatever, whoever had the most influence on you. If you look at the relationship you had with them, you may be able to get some insight on how you relate to your spouse now. You've heard people say, man, he ended up marrying his mother, you know, or yeah, man, you see how she, how she argues like that. That's what she does with her father. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that's the full picture because that'd be arrogant of me to say that, but it is interesting when you look at it like that, right? Because now I start looking at it like, okay, what was my relationship with my mother? Okay, she spoiled me. She did a lot for me. Did I want that from that other female? Damn, I did kind of want that from her.
Just last night, got into a big thing, right?
Yeah,
big debate. This is not the first guy that's told me this. He was like, "You don't listen." I'm like, I get pissed, right? I'm like, yeah, I didn't heard this before. I didn't believe it then. I don't believe it now. But I had to think about that today. I was like, do I listen? I feel like I listen, but then maybe I just kind of gloss over what they're saying. But I have heard that more than one time. I heard it from my ex-husband. I heard it from last relationship. I'm hearing it right now that I don't listen. I swear, I promise you, I think I listen. But man, I promise you, I do think I listen.
Listening to you.
That's skinny. I don't listen. No, but I do think I listen.
All right, sis.
But maybe it's like I think what they were saying is like, because I want. And maybe it's the word. Maybe when they say you don't listen, I feel like I'm being like chastised, like a child or something.
The way you sounds like from what you said, the way you rejected it means something there's in it that triggered you.
It's because I've heard it before.
Flat rejected it without even letting it enter your.
Do listen, but maybe
without even considering it. Yeah.
And I think it comes back to like they're like, well, you listen, but you still end up doing
That's what,
what it is you want to do.
You know what I was going to say though too. You I think you do listen, but what I think when the person is speaking about when they say you don't listen is you listen to exactly what they said, then you turn around and go back and do the repeated pattern. You do the same thing that they state. Or they might say, you ain't even listening. I just told you about. You know what I'm saying? Say a person could say, well, look, I don't like the way you talk to me like that. And then y'all get another argument, you go back to the same form of rapport with each other. And he said, you ain't listening, man. We just talked about that. Or repeat, because a lot of the stuff we do, because my wife say, I don't listen. But I flip it. I say, you ain't listening. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people got a little tactics to make you feel like, you know, you know, sometimes too, when you're in a long, lengthy relationship with people, you really got to balance it out. But, I try not to go back and forth with a woman because you're never going to win. So that's when I get to the
And that's another topic, ladies and gentlemen.
I get to the point. And the women ain't never wrong. Or not never say they're never wrong, but they just have a harder time than us apologizing for being wrong. That's because they're so angry, it takes them a little while to calm down. You know what I'm saying? And then, right, well, then you tell us.
All the facts on
Yeah.
See, I can't, Robin. You got to speak to. I can't speak to that.
Yeah, the one.
Yeah, we got you here, Rob.
the hell with that tape.
You know why dudes apologize faster than women? Because we the idiots that leave the house. And then we get somewhere like, shit, I'm gonna come.
Yeah.
I'm not staying here. You ain't call her and tell her I'm sorry.
So you
Okay.
gave up your comfort zone.
All right. Okay.
You want it
As
back.
men, do
So
you
now
feel
you're
like
willing
women
to
don't
apologize.
hear
Even if you
you?
don't feel like it's
I
justified.
do that I feel like sometimes my wife don't hear me. Especially women that
See, okay, right there.
especially women.
What would okay? I'm glad you said that. So this must be my therapy tonight, okay? Because
That's right. Bring
this
it. Bring it.
This is a real
Bring
thing
it.
that was happening.
Bring it.
So I'm just like, they were saying like, okay, if you look at this, okay, like for example, I'm like, you know what? I want to take you out. It's whatever. I'm laying everything out on the table. I'm paying for everything. I'm doing this. Let's do it. And then it comes down to it, and they're like, well, you know what? I just really wanted to chill in the house with you. And I'm like, what? No. I want to celebrate you like this, and we are going out.
Yeah.
And then it's a horrible time. It's terrible. We don't have a good time. I end up being upset. He ends up being upset. And he's like, well, if you had listened to, I said, I just wanted to spend time with you, regardless of how you wanted to celebrate me. then none of this would have happened.
Right.
Is that not listening? I mean,
Well,
I
well,
thought
so
I
it sounds like you might have had your agenda
When
based
was your-
upon some
when
good
was your-
intentions,
listened.
right?
Yeah.
Birthday?
Based on some good intentions, but your agenda,
September 29th.
we just missed it.
We just missed it
Well,
last
Libras?
Thursday. We Libra.
Yeah. But yeah,
She's still a-
My older sister was a Libra. They demanded a little bit, but they good though.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, they good with money too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Libras are good with money.
Good
They
judgment.
demanded. My sister was a Libra, very demanding a little bit.
Yeah.
I always picked a guy. I was married twice. She just passed. She married twice.
Sorry to
And I'm
hear
kind of like thinking, I'm looking at you saying that she always had, well, not a project or dude that she can fix, but it kind of like is an easy pick. You know what I'm saying? Something that where, where she may be the 10 and he might be the 7 or 6.
I don't know. I don't think not
Yeah.
on this one. Nah. This one is pretty good. I think. No, maybe not the last one.
No, I'm
but
talking about,
this
I
one.
was talking when you say you like to pick a guy when you
Well,
fix.
maybe when because I see things like like I think I have a need to feel
Oh, yeah.
needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
is there anybody out there that's listening that may be able to relate to where Robin is coming from? But particularly the females out there. Weigh in real quick if you don't mind.
no, I
We
don't think I look at
want to have her
potential.
give her some support up here.
She probably say she probably
I
got-
look at like honestly, I look at like who I can talk to, who makes me laugh. I never really ask somebody like, "What do you do for a living?" I never
Yeah.
say that. Like, "What do you like?" I don't care. Can you make me laugh? Do I like to hang out with you? Can I talk to you for hours on the phone talking about everything and nothing at the same time? That's what I like. That's what I look for.
That's intimacy.
Then I feel like the money or whatever that's
Yeah.
gonna come.
Yeah, but you're describing intimacy.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you might get a funny bump. Sometimes you get a guy that's kind of like a slacker. You know what I'm saying? You got to get sometimes might need a guy that motivates you. Instead of him needing a little bit of putty on his shoulders, you might need a guy that you
I've
kind of
had one of those. Yeah, not this one, but yeah, I do understand.
yeah, boy, you can kind of like you can see eye to eye, but you kind of like a little bit more.
You got to give energy to
a
me
little
too.
bit, yeah, and then you got a little bit more reverence for what he's saying, kind of like because what he's doing. He's
Mhm.
doing the things that you like. I think really the way you win a woman over is to do the things that she likes to do,
Mhm,
so you
mhm.
can actually know exactly what she likes. See, I'm into if you really, really like a person, then I think you need to just go ahead and not let her have a way to the point where you're spoiling her rotten, but you kind of like don't want to make that an issue. I always speak about finances too, because finances is the number one route to
Finance
break
is a
up any
killer.
relationship. So I always think that money should never be something you argue with. I've been with my woman for almost 30 years. We never argued over $5.
Mhm.
And we done been broke up, down. You know what I'm saying? Ain't like we always had something. We done been
Mhm.
electric out, and we just your everyday normal couple. But when we hit bottom, we didn't start at each
Yeah.
other. You know what I'm saying? We tried putting these together, trying to figure a way to get back to where we was instead of because sometimes you'll never know how good a relationship is until you get tested.
Yeah.
But
Right.
everybody can be with you while it's good. A lot of people you see with each other, they doing with each other because they doing good. But if you hit a dry spot, the dude get prostate cancer, he can't get up, or some
Mhm.
things are going, and he might need some surgery, or
Mhm.
you'll start. It's gonna be some serious tests if you with a person long enough. It's gonna be some tests to see the value of it. And then you were like telling your girlfriend, I don't know about this one, girl. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might, I don't know about what I signed up for. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
Dion
yeah.
can relieve me.
So
Well, relieve me, big boy. And here's the technical guy. Yeah, this Big D. This is the technical
we,
guy.
we got the other
Yeah,
half
you got
of
the
the
other
all
half.
over the
Do they got the-
podcast
Do they got the pause button? You got the pause button?
movement in the audience. We really swap out. Actually,
You want me to
I can
swap
come
out?
No,
Or?
no. You can stay. We
Yeah.
fixing you today. We got
Oh,
you.
Lord.
I looked over here. We go. Oh Lord, my bad. Dude.
Look, see, that's because you was talking about me.
Oh no, I'm talking. With
Am I coming over?
Okay.
You coming
Sure,
in?
whatever. However you want. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good topic.
Hey, bro.
though, for real. You know what's so crazy?
Yes.
Everybody got it. I got people there. I got people that friends of mine. They know me and my wife. We mutual. My wife grew up in the neighborhood, so my friends know my wife. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, they see us like, oh, I can talk to them. You know what I'm saying? They've been together so long. But I said, man, if I show you the cameras in this joint, you might be email y'all something. You know what I'm saying? We just work through it. But that's like I got a call tonight. It was a call, and the individual was going on and on and on, but what was being projected is nothing like what they were saying.
Yeah.
So, you know, something looked like something.
Are we picking up his audio too? Not much. Okay. Apologies out there. He was dropping some more jewels, and I wanted to be able to get that in there. But we got. Speaking of which, brother Dion, welcome.
Hey.
Welcome. He's the other part of the all over the place podcast. Welcome.
Yep. Well,
We-
thank
we-
y'all for inviting us. Thank you for inviting me.
No doubt.
Sure. So definitely appreciate the time. So I was listening over there and get a chance to chime in, but that's something that's real big, especially for somebody that's younger. Cause I'm 39. I don't know how old you guys are, but I've been married before, been divorced, and I have seen the same pattern that I find the same type of woman or the same type of pattern in the woman.
Okay.
Mm.
Because and that goes from my upbringing. I watched my grandfather take care of my grandmother. I watched my dad take care of my mom. So naturally you're going to try to provide, but just like Sling said, you might pick up a bum that don't want to do nothing, that's just going to live off you. And you provide because that's what you do as a man. That's what you've been always taught. So now you got a woman for 5 years that ain't never worked, and you like, well, hold on, I'm paying the mortgage, I'm taking care of the kids, I'm taking care of your kids and my kids. You can get into a bad situation, or you can find somebody that don't got no kids, and then you end up taking care of her, and next thing you know, you done brung her in, and then now you get mad at her because she ain't working. So it's the same thing, but you provide because you are a provider. So that's,
I'm not even being funny right now. Where are the providers? Can I get one?
You're looking for the wrong thing. That ain't what you said.
I know. Jesus. I hear about. You know what?
No, she didn't say she
You
just.
know
Oh,
I
right.
did say
She
that.
she didn't say she just wanted to laugh.
You said all you want to do is laugh and talk on the phone and
No,
talk
I'm
about
just
everything
saying.
with nothing.
She said she didn't care what
You said
I
you
didn't
ain't care about what they
that, but I'm
make.
just
You don't-
assuming that everybody is, whatever. But I would
Yeah, you're
like.
assuming your baseline's too high, bro. There's
What
there's
am I
stuff.
assuming? Here?
Well, you're assuming your baseline is average or better, and there's a lot of guys out there that are not.
That's okay.
you
And
know?
that go both ways.
Yeah.
That go both ways.
And that's
Yeah.
good.
But like,
because
I don't
that-
think I would
because
never like not work. I always
Yeah.
have to like
you're-
have
you're-
something and
Yeah.
contribute and help whatever. Like I just
Well,
couldn't
that's
sit
how
back
you
and do
are.
nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
You're like a woman who's like running a business, building something. And that's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
But-
Your resume speaks for itself.
And I think that your like baseline is above where a lot of other women's baseline is, because I feel like you wouldn't even like consider a guy who's never really done nothing, doesn't really care. That's not you.
Yeah, I mean, like,
So
what?
like you're already set your baseline there, because we're saying like, but don't just go with any guy that you meet, because there's some of them are.
But
like
see,
that.
That's true.
I didn't take that though. When she said it, that's not how I took it.
Yeah.
But you know,
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Yeah, you know what I mean. Like and maybe it's just because I know her.
Yeah.
that
You
could
know,
be a
maybe
yes.
that's what it is. But
You go back
you
to
know,
the turn.
she not one to be just running around with bums and
Oh,
some
no.
and all that. That's not her style. But or come in so we can hear you too, so they can.
You know
Yeah.
what's so crazy though? A person don't have to be. There's all
Mm.
kinds of ways.
I don't know
to
about
be
the
Watch
table.
out, I don't know about the
trust that
table.
There's all kinds of ways to be empty. A person don't have to just be empty at the bank. They could be empty at the
That's
mall,
right.
at
That's
the
true.
mall, right? At the spiritual bank.
Yeah.
So you might be getting a guy that's, like you say, he's capable of helping or supporting financially, but morally he's doing
That's
something,
right.
that pattern that we talking about.
Moral
Yeah.
bankruptcy.
Yeah.
He's morally
Yeah.
bankrupt. He's disrespectful in public. He might take a drink and get loud and all that. Then he come back down and apologize. In the same cycle, just.
But you know what you're talking about really comes back to self-respect too, right? Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And another thing that I came across too. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna Dion, right?
Yeah.
I was just gonna finish like what you were saying. So with you said, I guess the type of women that you found yourself attracting,
Yeah.
you said you related back to because you watched the men in your family take care of.
And I watch the women too. So yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna naturally want the same thing that I saw. So if it's, like my grandparents married 60 years, my parents married 40 or 38. So longer than that, because I'm 39. So I think they married 41 years. So I've always wanted that, but that's not what I got. I didn't get what I saw because of the patterns that I was doing, what I thought I wanted out of a woman. And then it flipped back and it was like, no, I don't know if I really like that. But I never corrected myself. I just went out and got another woman.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
You see what I'm saying? So
Okay.
it wasn't like, okay,
Okay.
well, hold on, Dion, let me pause for a minute.
Yeah,
Let me reflect and let me get some choices and pick the right one.
gotcha.
Never happened. So I've always had a girlfriend since 9th grade, 8th grade. I've always had a girlfriend.
Keep something in the pocket.
So,
ain't
you
it?
know what I mean? So it was never a time when I was 2 or 3 years alone or
Yeah,
just chilling, being out. And then once I had my daughter, I was 25 and I was with her mom for 7 years. We were high school sweethearts. So, and once that broke down, then it was like, okay, well, what do I do now? So then it was just, girlfriend breakup, girlfriend or, situation breakup. It was never really, because I'm looking for a wife. I'm looking for a wife that I could be with for 30, 40 years. But at that time, there's no wives out there. Where you going to find them at? They say go to the supermarket, go to the church, go here, go there. Okay, I found 3 girls in the church. They was all trash. So what's that mean? You know what I mean? Like, no, all jokes aside. You know what I mean? So you can't really go off of. So sometimes you can't go off of what everybody else talking about either, because they'll give you the wrong information. So, I don't want to take the show, but I can speak on some relationship stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, I'm a relationship guru.
You've been there, done it, seen a few things.
Done that, but I mean, the last relationship, it's 5 years, good relationship. Every relationship has ups and downs, but it kind of is what it is. So now you kind of roaming. You're 40. I'm talking about myself. So now, okay, well, what kind of woman I want now? Do I want this? Do I want that? Should I just hold off? But then in the back of my mind, I'm gonna be 50 in 10 years. I don't want to be alone. So I got one daughter. Yeah, she's 15. Right, because I'm looking like, okay, in 3 years, she gone. Now I'm really by myself because she gonna go live her life. So, a lot of things play, and Slink always get on me because I'm always trying to think ahead a little bit too much. Like I'm already retired in my mind. 55, I'm gonna be in Florida living playing golf. So it's like, but you want somebody on your side, but.
So have you thought about what you're going to change in your approach to picking something different, or is it something in you that you want to change?
Yeah, how you gonna break that pattern?
You kind of like, you are who you are, now in relationships, I've taken something from every relationship that I've been in. So what I mean by that is, like you were saying, you not listening or something like that. So if I was in that position where if I cheated on a girl, okay, I ain't gonna cheat on her I ain't gonna cheat on the next one. That's what I would say. Okay, that was the issue. It was infidelity for me or infidelity in the relationship. So I'm gonna try not to make that happen. If it's me arguing or me trying to control the girl too much, I ain't gonna do that this time. So it's always something that you try to say, okay, I don't want to do that because that's what messed it up last time. Because I really was feeling her, but I messed it up. Sometimes you take a little bit, like me, I take a lot of pressure and put a lot of pressure on myself. So I'm not a big failure guy. I always got to win. I'm a successful, I can't lose. So even when I lose, I'll be like, yo, I did something, I ain't about to lose, or I'm learning from that, and then I'm gone to the next situation. So, but when the way I was raised a certain way. So I watch family. I've always been around family. So the last 3 relationships, they were not family oriented people.
Oh wow.
So that plays a role too.
Okay.
They ain't got the father, or they arguing with their family and stuff like that. I don't know that. So, but I still love the girl. I like her. But
Hey, but let me chime in on it real quick. glad you brought up that point when you said the young ladies that you've been with didn't have mother in the house, father in the house, or whatever. And it's funny because even in my relationships, right, I've never dated a woman that had the mother and father in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I was raised with my mom and dad in the house until I lost my dad at a young age, but I always seen that. Right. You know what I mean? That foundation part. And it's hard for you to kind of how can I say? It's kind of hard for you to really get yourself really indulged into that female like that when that part isn't there, because there's nothing for you really to go off of other than how she acts with you and that. But for a person that comes from a strong oriented family, we look for that part too. I want to see how you are with your mom. Because you might give it like I was with a young lady, nice young lady, but her and her mother cuss with each other like they best friends.
Oh no.
Drink with each other. I'm like, oh, this ain't really my cup of tea. But I love her, but this ain't my cup of tea.
But that doesn't exactly sound bad, because it sounds like they have like a sisterhood between them. Yeah.
No, I get that. But what I'm saying is, if I'm not used to that, if I'm not, I can't cuss around my mom. I'm 46.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if I accidentally slip up and be like, damn, I'm like,
oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a different. I'm not saying it ruined the whole relationship.
Right.
But it's that.
But it was so foreign to you, didn't feel comfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it's a pattern. You say, well, I can't go back down that road. But then you meet another girl, and how they get together with their family. You got a lot of families that get together, and it's the alcohol, it's the smoking. That's how they party.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
With my family, we don't do that. We gonna get together. We gonna jolt on you.
Oh, all day. Y'all gonna do that.
That's what we do.
And
That's how we
eat.
show love.
Right.
We will cook you.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's also it's a shocker when you see it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because now in the back of your mind, you're like, I want to bring them over to my mom's house.
But they're not gonna have fun.
But,
which
you know-
I got to drink, or which I smoking on. You know, like my mom.
But unless it's somebody like me, I just say, listen, we going over here. Listen, they don't do all that. Don't ask.
Yeah.
Don't bring nothing in the house. They're not smoking. Listen.
People should
All
be
right.
adaptable, versatile.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, unless they're not.
They're
Like,
adaptable.
yeah.
They're adaptable in the moment.
Right.
But when you get in that car, or you get home, or whatever,
Yeah.
or any little thing spark up,
Yeah.
guess what? They really upset because they actually now they had to come out of their way. They had to take this.
Oh,
Put
okay.
the sheet on. You understand what I'm saying? Just to be around you for that little bit of time.
Right. So it's just pent up, ready to
It's
explode out.
It's
Yeah.
ready to come
Yeah.
out.
Like what the real them that they've been holding back,
You know what I'm saying? It's
trying to
ready
be
come
somebody
out,
else.
man.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I mean-
funny. It's funny you said that, because I know I've heard some people talk about red flags, and when you see a red flag, you kind of just ignore the red flag. You should know what you like and what you want out of a woman. You don't want her blasting off on you or stuff like that. You know, she get mad, she calling you names or cussing at you, you know, which is gonna make you get out of your character or something like that. You know, so when you think about like what you were saying, dudes telling you don't listen. Why don't you listen? Or what are you doing to make them say you're not listening? It's got to be something. It can't be. I think I'm listening. It can't be that.
If you think it'll benefit
See-
your relationships, you should
That's
work
what
that.
it is.
So are
No.
you like looking them in the eye and
You know
then
what
they
it
just
is?
telling you?
I think I'm listening, but in the end, I think I still know what's best for you better than you. I think that's my problem.
You think
Because
you know
I feel
what's better
like
for me
I'm
than
taking
you.
care of you. Yeah, maybe it's that because people always
Right,
say, "Oh,
right.
Robin, as a girlfriend, you're such a nurturer, you're
Right.
such a mother," and so mommy knows best. So I
Yeah.
always think like I know what's best for you if I'm in a relationship more than you do.
So you gotta find a mama's boy. That's what you're gonna have
No,
to find.
Well-
I don't know. No, I
No,
don't
because
think
he
that-
gonna want that. He
No.
gonna want somebody.
I think
He
I
gonna
just
want
have
that.
Because of the
to.
simple fact that you want that, but are you ready for that? Because you gotta be careful what you want.
Yeah, no, I
right.
don't
That's
want
It's
to
right.
do
wants and
that.
needs. You know what I mean?
That's-
It's
that's
always
what
wants
we
and
really
needs.
talk
It's
about.
like you said, okay, I'm a nurturer. I'm bringing him in. I'm rubbing his back and feeding him some of that.
Yeah.
But guess what? You know how much you breaking yourself down to please him?
Right.
Yeah.
Because in the end, all he got to say is, "Man, you ain't listening to me."
Right.
know damn well you explain
I
I'm
just
doing
rubbed your
everything.
back and fed you, and
Right.
and now I'm not listening.
Maybe I don't listen. Maybe oh, thanks. I
do.
think
I'm
I'm
just-
listening, but maybe I don't know. Maybe it comes down to, do I trust the person? Do I trust what they're saying? Do I trust that they have my
So are
my
you sure?
best
Are you
interest
sure?
in
It's, are you
mind?
sure it's listening and not control?
They said I don't listen. And maybe that's what I'm afraid of. If I'm listening, then I feel like they're controlling me or they're being bossy to me.
Do you feel like you control them when you don't listen? Because I mean,
And
like what I'm
wonder-
saying is like, I guess if you're saying you're not listening, and you just also said that you know what's better for me than
I
me.
be thinking that.
You
yeah.
think that, which
I think
sometimes
that.
you probably say it.
I
or
probably
you could,
project it.
You
Yeah.
know, so and like my child's mother is a Libra. My child's a Libra. I know a lot of Libras.
Yeah.
You know, so like I know what they are. And Scorpio, I'm a Scorpio male. So we kind of gonna clash on
Same
some
here,
stuff.
yeah.
But we can have a great relationship too. But at some point, you want balance.
Yes.
Scorpios is all over. You know what I mean? We gonna go. And we very spontaneous. So you know, in that situation, I don't know who you were with,
He's
but
a Scorpio.
what kind of guy? Oh well, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Go to commercial.
Yeah, if you, right, if
Go-
you
go
closer
to
the
commercial,
Sag,
please.
Scorpio, you closer to
Hold
the
on, where's the
Libra.
commercial button? Let me see here.
Wow.
Scorpios are funny dudes.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I am one.
Oh yeah. You want to?
Yes, sir.
When your birthday?
Wow.
November 19th.
Oh, I'm October 29th.
All right.
Ah.
So see, that sad Scorpio a little different. They a little bit more.
Right.
They're a little bit more.
What
more
would
that fighter
November 22nd be?
side. Yeah, them November ones.
That's on the cusp. That's
yeah,
almost.
that's
yeah.
almost sad. So yeah,
That's
so
that's.
that
that's
closer
first day
to that
Sagittarius.
Sag, they're a little bit more
Yeah.
rah with it. They ain't having it.
I
They-
don't,
yeah,
I don't
they
pretend to
ain't
know a whole lot
It
about
is,
it.
You ain't lying.
having it. Yeah, they got it all right here, and that's all they see.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I mean?
But-
So
I'll say this though, y'all. One, because I've had a whole lot of time to do some thinking,
Mhm.
some soul searching. It's nothing like being able to really sit down and ask yourself some questions. Where's this coming from? Oh, in my case, old girl said this. I was mad at the time, so I couldn't really hear her. But now I can sit with myself and say, okay, let me really look at what she said. Right? Where's this coming from? Is it have something to do with a relationship from my father or my mother or something like that? Or do I have some agenda that I've always had and never really just even addressed? You know what I mean? Like it came out because I also take classes for self-transformation, right? Some people call it personal development, whatever. And one of the things came up was that I do this thing where I overcompensate by trying to make myself important, right? So I was looking at that and I was like, damn. I said, how many times in relationships did I feel like, oh, she don't think I'm important, so F her or forget her or whatever, you know what I mean? When that was me trying to overcompensate for my insecurities, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yourself, yeah.
And I never knew that before until I happened to do this work. I'm like, damn, you know what? I got a lot of bullshit that me personally that I do. You know what I mean? I got to grow up on a lot of different areas. You know what I'm saying? I have some of that mama's boy in me that you was talking about. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that had to be addressed before I can actually show up to the table and say, listen here, mom, we're gonna do this together. We're gonna build this, or we're gonna do that, whatever. I couldn't, I couldn't just pretend like those issues weren't there. You know what I mean? And then I start looking, and then once you start seeing something, you can't unsee it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So now
Sometimes, yeah.
I'm dealing with somebody. I'm like, oh, don't even start that bullshit, bar. You know, you do that right there. Don't start that bullshit. You know what I mean? So I can check myself,
yeah.
but it takes that really being able to sit down with yourself and do this kind of work, because each of us, y'all might not have my issues, but you might have another kind of issue.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And when you actually sit down to do it, then it's like you get empowered to some degree, because you're like, you know what? I don't have to fall for the okie doke on that one. The next woman, like Dion said, I'm gonna learn from this last one right here, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's something that
Not
I
repeat,
actually
but
had to
still
really sit down
repeat, yeah.
with and see it for myself, so I can learn.
Yeah, because
Right,
what
so,
you're
yeah,
saying is you
yeah.
repeated it for a while.
Yeah.
So pretty much,
Let me get off that merry-go-round.
so pretty
Yeah, but it
much
sounds
you
like-
can't- can't work on yourself in a relationship.
You can. You absolutely can work
So,
on yourself.
yeah,
in the middle of
I
a
think.
relationship. There's no reason why you
But
can't.
here's the thing, though. You have to.
You should be.
Here's what you want to do.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's
you know
like,
what,
it's
I'm
like
not
growing
gonna
a
say-
tree. You need to nurture it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You need to water it. You need to
I-
feed it fertilizer. You need to trim it. You need to do stuff.
Yeah. Can I hear? Can we hear?
People get divorced because they don't do the things that they used to do because they figure, man, I'm married, man, I'm going all out, you know. Yeah,
That's
she
true.
said she wanted to go out and like, I'm cool, man, I want to live, man. You know what I mean? When she's like, come on, let's go out, let's celebrate. Yeah, they got two different entities on what they think is. She said, come on, man, I really want to do this for you. Like you is doing it for me. It's cool. I'm all right.
Mhm.
I appreciate the acknowledgement. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what she wants.
Yeah, and another thing I will add to that is, if I find myself in a relationship in the future, or whatever, I'm going to sit down with her and let her know that I'm work in progress. Share with her some of the things that I have found out about myself. So it's now two of us on the watch out, on the lookout, right? And I'm hoping that she would want to do the same with me, right? So that we will have like an agreement, understanding, some space where we both can come to the table and say, "Babe, remember that little thing you do? You're doing it, right?" And I can do the same for her,
Mhm.
so that we can not have a whole lot of drama about things that we could have addressed preemptively, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I would love to be able to do. I have not. I obviously I've been single, so I don't. But going forward, that's something that I would definitely be looking to do. What can we? And we kind of touched on this before, but like this whole thing about like I don't care if it's 15 minutes a week, but if it's just you, me, and no fucking body else,
Mhm.
just you and me, and we can talk about this kind of stuff or whatever. I mean, I can be honest. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I do. I'm feeling insecure about this particular thing right here, right? And I know it might have something to do with the fact that, when I was growing up, woo, 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 but I want to put that on the table,
Yeah, that's
and we can, you know what I'm saying?
That's the definition of like a real partner. I mean, it
Well,
means something
I would
different
hope
for
so.
different
You know what I'm
people,
saying?
right? But,
Yeah,
like,
I
you
mean,
should
I would
hopefully
hope
be able
so.
to- if you're gonna work with somebody, because that's kind of the most intimate relationship you have in your life.
Yeah,
You have
Definitely.
other relationships.
Yeah.
It's not just one, but
yeah,
hopefully the partner you're with, like the relationship partner is the one that you can confide in and work things through.
yeah,
Kind of got your back, open mind, can kind of let you kind of hear you too.
yeah.
It's not just about
'Cause if I-
opening up, it's also about being heard,
So when would you kind of like do all this opening up? Because
When you say when, what do you mean?
you know what I'm saying? Because
not because go ahead.
if you just come right off the breakaway and say, "Look,
Yeah.
I got this, and
Too
this
much too
coming
soon.
with me," she might be like,
Oh yeah,
"Man, I'm gone. What are you
Can-
talking about?" So, like, when do you just work on you and let her kind of feel you out, or you gonna let her know
Well, see,
first
and here's
what
the thing.
I got going on?
Here's the thing. I'm not so green that I would meet someone fresh, brand new, spanking new, be like, "Hey, baby, I like you. By the way, here's my list of shit."
We
Right.
talked
Like-
about that during our
Yeah, you know what I mean?
week on transparency. We talked about like
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's take it, the long ass scroll and shit be like, look, the long ass CBS receipt. And that's funny right there. No worries. That's how I need to laugh. I know, but seriously. But I realized too that at some point, especially if she says, well, we start talking about what's important to us. These classes that I take, I've been taking these classes over the last 10 years. So I can't hide, I'm not gonna hide that from her. You know what I mean? I'm coming to take, baby, this is the word. I can even show her, like, look, I was here.
why would you even
I
think you
was
need
there,
to
I
hide that?
was
This
there.
is like what
No,
you're doing to
but
make you
you'd
a
be
better you
surprised.
for her.
But you'd be surprised. A lot of
Okay.
people will hide themselves.
But that's
A
not.
lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
people
no, I
would.
understand.
That would be a
Point.
positive, though.
That's a positive.
Yeah,
right?
that's a positive. I could see if it was you was an alcoholic and you don't want
Right,
that to
right,
come
right.
out, but that's a positive.
Yeah,
Like 10 years I've been working on, I've been doing my counseling, I've been doing this. And
Yeah.
stuff. You don't really need to know about all the stuff that I went to counseling for, what I said,
right.
but to know that I've been in counseling
Yeah.
to work
Yeah.
on me
Yeah.
so I can be great for you. Because
Exactly.
really, you trying to be great for the next woman
That's
you
right.
gonna
That's
find.
why you're doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So,
but
but
the-
the perfect woman, I
But
don't-
I'm
work
gonna
for.
tell you like this too. There's a lot of things that I've noticed about myself
Uh-huh.
that ain't pretty. and it would be cooler to just say, yeah, I got alcohol problem, instead of some of that other shit. You see what I'm saying?
You
Be-
right
oh,
about. I
yeah.
mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
always best to
Oh,
be
man.
honest,
Oh,
but
man,
sometimes
y'all
too
don't-
much
Too
honesty.
honest. Yeah.
Too much
Maybe.
honesty.
Listen, I can't.
messes
That
you
I
up.
can't speak to. I don't know. I don't know about that. You know, you might be right. Because I may say something to her about me that's true that she might be like, "Oh, player."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Like if you
But
tell
you
a
never
woman,
know.
yeah, like if you tell a woman all the bread, like if I just met you and I said, look, I was a womanizer for 10 years, you know what I mean? That might throw you off because you might be like,
that might not scare away.
right.
If you just met her and she feeling you know
Yeah.
that shit.
Oh no,
that- I'm just showing you
that's
how-
right though. That can happen
There's
too.
certain things that if you start being honest with people's stuff in people's past,
Yeah,
they would have to bring up.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
because that's a deal breaker later on in life.
That's the word I was going to
That's
use.
a deal breaker later.
Some
on in
people have
life.
different deal breakers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a big deal breaker.
What's that?
Yeah.
You got to let people know certain things in your life. Like you said, you do have to let them know.
Yeah.
Somebody might be HIV
Right.
Yeah.
Well, sir, yeah.
You know,
But like in his situation, not being in a relationship for 10 years and really building, that's something I would want to do. You know what I'm saying? To really see the different things that I've seen
But you know what though?
and bounce them Jones off and be great. Not only for me, but for somebody else.
But look, let me tell y'all one last thing. We gonna move around. It don't necessarily have to take that long for you, bro. I'm slow. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, we all
I'm slow.
on our pace,
I'm rigid. I'm stubborn about our things. So my process to shift and all that is taking longer than maybe somebody like you who may have gone through the same stuff, got the same exposure, and did the same work, and be like, "Damn, I'm good in a year, player."
right.
When you gonna catch up? You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
So
right,
it
right.
might be different for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's just my process.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, one of the things I'm gonna share something personal. So one of the things I found out was that I'm somebody who always wanted things to be easy, right? So I took the shortcut in a lot of areas of life, right? And then how I would compensate for that was I would be pretentious as if I'm already there, as if I already got it, right? When that first was pointed out to me, I was devastated. I'd have rather told you I was on crack. You see what I'm saying? So different strokes, different folks, but it's just my point is like, man, look, when you got something and it's hitting hard and you know, even if you don't want to believe it, you know it's true. You got to sit with it. You got to be with it. And if you with somebody and y'all really going, oh, we really gonna be partners, they're like that real shit, like the real, like, okay, well then, baby, that's one of my things, right? So I'm also giving you permission to respectfully pull my card. Because but I'm gonna tell you why though. Because if she can't and I won't, we're not gonna go nowhere. Or it's always gonna be that elephant in the room, right? It's always gonna be some bullshit, you know, or we're gonna find another way to break up on some other stuff that really wasn't even related to the true issues.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like for me, I'm just like, dude, this is what it is. And I look, if I find myself in a relationship, y'all, I'm gonna be a little like, okay, I'm, you know, because I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like I would have to do what I'm telling y'all right now, right? So I don't have a guidebook, a blueprint, or like
no guidebook.
here's step one, and they'll go to step two. Like I don't have that, right? So I would have to be like, you know, bobbing and weaving and figuring out as we go, but I can't go into it hiding from her, pretending. You know what I'm saying? If baby, I don't do this well. If you can be with that, it's cool. If you can't, I respect that. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? I can't do that no more.
So let me ask y'all something. So let me reverse it real quick. What if the girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if you're one of her patterns?
Yeah, you are.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
You very well could be.
Yeah.
You very well could be.
But you all in, you loving and stuff like that. But
Right.
you don't even say, you know what?
No, that's
You know, I see something that I'm seeing that happened before in the relationship, blah, blah, blah. How would you feel in that instance?
If I was the subject, if I was the person who she wasn't supposed to be with because I was a part of an unhealthy pattern, let's
But
say.
that's not what you're
Is that what you mean?
saying. No, he's
No.
just saying that you're part of the pattern that she's playing out because she's got an attachment style that works a certain way. And she's doing the same thing to you that she did to the last guy, even though he's not the same. She's trying to kind of put you in a certain way that works for her. That's all.
Right. Now, you didn't work on yourself.
Yeah.
Everything. You know who you are. You know
Right.
what you want.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
at the table.
Okay.
But you meet this young lady that hasn't worked on herself in a sense. Meaning she got you. Let's just say she got you because you handsome, right? That's one of her patterns, handsome guys. But she ain't even thought about how they are. This motherfucker just handsome.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He's a
So
what they call him a piece. What they call them things?
Arm piece or
Like
show
a,
piece, whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
showpiece.
Arm piece or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But she
Arm
didn't know
candy.
that you just sit here and work on
Sport
yourself.
coat.
You ready to
Yeah.
be married and everything.
Uh-huh.
She don't care about that.
Right.
But to you, you're like, oh man, you know, she's everything I want, far as physical wise, you know, appearance and all that stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But then y'all get into it, y'all start kind of unraveling. You start to date more, and now you intimate, and, and you find her like kind of pulling back or whatever.
Right.
Like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
having a great time, but no, you are her pattern.
Yeah.
You were just a good guy.
Okay.
She ain't ready for all the other stuff. How do you go about that?
Y'all want me to answer
Yeah.
that?
Well, no. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
You want everybody to answer
Everybody,
that?
yeah. I mean, I feel like it's worth having a dialogue. And like, if you're with somebody who you can work with and communicate with, then you can really kind of open these things up and talk about them. You know, that's kind of like what I think a lot of this kind of like talk is kind of coming down to, because everyone's got these sort of attachment styles that they work with. They go all the way back to their childhood, right? So in that case, that's what I would suggest. I would say, you like this girl, right? That's what the way you described. She likes you, maybe not the way you want her to like you exactly, but still there's something there you can work with. You know, that's what I think. What do you think?
Well, here's my thing, right? So if anybody I meet going forward, right? I gotta be able to have a conversation with her where I can tell that no matter what comes down the pipe, she open to really discussing it, right?
Yeah.
Because everything else is sound good, whatever. But if I can't sit down with you and be like, look, this, that, and I see this, and what's going on with you, whatever. If we really can't do that, then it's all just you know what I mean? Like,
What you're really saying is more than communication, because we're talking about communication, but there's something else that we're talking about more than that, and it's trust. It's about being safe. That's what you're really saying.
Yeah.
You're not saying that, but that's what you're saying.
Yeah, and you're right,
That
because
makes sense.
I'm implying that, but I didn't say that.
Right? No, you're
So,
implying that. Yeah.
so I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah. That was wrong.
Back on Robin.
No, I didn't want to cut you off.
Yeah.
No. I was listening because I think it is a lot of trust. And I'm still focusing on me throughout this whole podcast right now. When
No,
it's
that's
there,
right.
when the guy is like, I don't listen. And you know what? Maybe I really don't listen, because maybe I really don't, like I said before, maybe I really trust the person.
That's it. Because there's two
I
levels of
think
trust,
I
right?
do, but maybe
But
You
you know,
know?
but the benefit of this conversation
I don't.
is when you at home on that late night with the wine, you know.
You know, I drink Jack.
I stand corrected, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen.
Yeah. Hey, look.
You don't listen.
Look.
You know I drink Jack,
Look,
Bob.
actually, that was my drink.
You know that's my
that was my
drink.
drink. by the
All
way.
right,
But
good.
anyway, but not so. When you are by yourself, with whatever
Mhm.
your choice of drink is, you now can't unsee what you just talked about.
I know.
So now you can go a little deeper though,
Robin,
because
don't
there's
you-
another question you can ask beyond that. Because that's the whole thing. It's just like asking yourself questions. You it's like you digging. You're like, okay, so why do I do that?
Yeah.
And where did that start? And then who else was involved? You know, so it's like you doing a self-inquiry kind of thing in a sense to kind of
I feel like
dig,
it's still
you know?
trust. I feel like we're talking what you're talking about. I feel like it's trust, and you don't trust them. It's not about. There's two types of trust. The way I look at it, right? One is to be ethical or do what they say, like have integrity. You tell me you're going to do something, then do it. You tell me, can I trust you to do that? Be there when you say whatever. The other kind of trust is totally different, but it's still trust because, and this is the limitations of our the word in our English language. The other type of trust is about somebody being competent enough to know enough to be smart enough. You don't trust these guys to be smart enough to know what the heck they're talking about. That's what that's the issue you're talking about.
Don G just weighed in, y'all. Hold on.
Because you kind of do trust them. You kind of do believe them. But you also don't believe that they know enough about stuff to tell you what you ought to, because you're smarter than they are.
I don't think. I don't.
Okay,
think
maybe you don't.
Maybe,
Maybe you don't.
But look, hold on.
Wait a minute. They may be watching the program.
Hold on.
For you to call first to call yourself a fixer, you gotta have that thought pattern that I'm smarter than you. In a sense,
Maybe
whatever-
so,
whatever
because
it is
I
that I'm
do
trying
see
to-
myself.
You can't take advice from somebody who you don't think is smart enough to know. Yeah, you got to talk loud.
But you know,
Off mic. Yeah, talk loud.
Is it that you don't want to make yourself vulnerable to trust them so that they can have a peace of it?
Yeah, there's
that's
definitely
what
part
I
of
was.
that too.
That's where I was going to go with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I trust them enough. When I feel like, yes, listen, ding ding.
Yeah.
But no, like when that man says to me, "You don't listen,"
Mhm.
and I've been thinking about this the whole time.
Yeah.
Is it because you have to really let go and trust a man to lead you? And do I trust this man enough
Right.
to really just blindly, and that's
Yeah,
how
yeah.
I think of it, to blindly let myself go
Yeah.
and be led. I don't
Totally
know.
makes sense.
You're not going to do it because you've been able to you have to be the leader in a lot of your relationships, and I don't even know it because of what you're saying. You had to take the lead until a man comes and do like this and say, "I got it."
Huh?
Hold on.
Listen, I love you.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
No. Yes. I got it.
I got it. Yeah.
But
He's going to show you. Yeah, he's going to have to show you, baby.
Consistently, though.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to. It's gonna.
But I also think, Robin, that it must
know he
mean.
watching tonight.
But
I
you-
know it.
But Robin, I also think it means that you kind of cut them a little bit of slack and not hold people to standards that are unrealistic too. And
I
that's not
swear
because
that-
that's not because like I've seen your patterns or anything like that. It's because that kind of is a thing, that consistent thing with everybody. You know, when it's hard to let somebody in, to follow someone's
hard,
guidance
yeah.
and trust their competency, that's kind of got a lot to do with it.
All right. Okay.
Ooh, I done
Listen,
had
y'all,
therapy tonight.
we got to the weeds a little bit. I mean, there's obviously, well, maybe we have to do a part 2 for this. But we're gonna wrap this thing up. We want to thank our guest, brother Dion. Sling, come over here real quick. Y'all tell them where to find y'all on y'all podcast.
You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, official all over the place podcast. We're on every Monday, Thursday, 7:30.
Rabble House,
we're right here too. So we run our same
2904.
spot.
We are family. We are
Yes,
with the
indeed.
Rabble House family. 2904.
Check us out.
Minnesota Avenue Southeast. Check us out. We'd like to thank y'all
Yes,
for
indeed.
inviting us
Yeah,
here.
thanks,
We
guys.
all the team. We're gonna be a Rockefeller. You know? Oh, we gonna do this. That's how we gotta think, though. You know what I'm saying? That's how we gotta think. We gotta have that rich mindset so we can build something. You know what I'm saying?
I want to thank my main man Gary Don G
Yes,
and Sister Robin Jones. Robin, tell them how to find your stuff.
Oh, you know, I love to do this. You can find me, Robin Jones, Transformation Therapy on IG, Sculpt Me 360. Again, give me a phone call, 202-369-5275.
That's
Yeah.
right, transformation therapy. All right, folks.
Yeah,
Topic, any-
yes.
So go on that transformation therapy place they talk about.
That's right.
Ty, was anything you wanted to?
No, man, I just want to thank everybody. Thank the viewers, our VIPs, of course. Thank all the guests for coming through and blessing
Thanks,
us.
Rika.
Thank y'all.
I learned a lot.
Me too.
Yeah, man. I got some deep diving I gotta do with myself now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, y'all, we want to appreciate all y'all for joining us every Wednesday. Again, we here every Wednesday, 7:15. And have a blessed night, y'all. Ish, yeah, 7:15 ish.
Ish.
All
And
right,
have a
good
blessed
folks.
night, y'all.
And bye-bye.